G'day folks. Joe Biden and the Democrats just pulled off a remarkable midterm election. Written off by many, including myself here last week, Biden defied that red wave. He kept control of the Senate, and as we publish, could even win the House. Even if they lose the House though, the fact that it is close is a stunning result given the state of the union. The argument, warning of a red wave, I believe, was sound, and still is. Inflation's running hot, real wages are going backwards, and with escalating crime and a border crisis to boot, it left critics with a fairly obvious conclusion that things aren't going too well stateside. Not to mention Biden's approval ratings, which are the lowest ever. We'll get to that shortly. With a few exceptions, there's always a swing against the incumbent during the midterms, but Biden's needle hardly shifted. In fact, he outperformed almost every Democratic president facing midterm elections since the Second World War. Knowing the economy wasn't going well, the Democrats campaigned strongly on abortion rights and on election integrity. Results show that to be the right call. But to my mind, it only leaves more questions. How does this result marry with reality? Biden is the least popular American president in history. According to 538, which has averaged out all polls, Biden has an approval rating that is lower than all US presidents going back to Truman. His closest comparison at the same stage of their presidency was Donald Trump. Biden is still lower. And for disapproval ratings, Biden's rating is higher than every president going back to Truman. Again, Trump is his closest comparison, Biden still higher. So, was this midterm result a reflection on Biden? Or was it that voters just didn't like what the Republicans had to offer? I've not heard a better explanation than this one, with many of the same points.
So think about this. We have the worst inflation in 4 decades, the worst collapse in real wages in 40 years, the worst crime wave since the 1990s, the worst border crisis in U.S. history. We have Joe Biden, who is the least popular president since Harry Truman, since presidential polling happened, and there wasn't a red wave. That is a searing indictment of the Republican Party. That is a searing indictment of the message that we have been sending to the voters. They looked at all of that and looked at the Republican alternative and said, no thanks. The Republican Party needs to do a really deep introspection look in the mirror right now, because this is an absolute disaster.
Not only was this a good result for Biden, it was a bad result for Trump, because this wasn't just a rebuke of Republicans, but a rebuke of many of Trump's picks, including high-profile challengers Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania, Doug Mastriano and Kari Lake in Arizona. The shining light for the Republicans now is Ron DeSantis, who romped it in Florida, and now surely is the future of the party. But Trump is still the biggest draw card. He hates losing, and as he prepares to make an official announcement on his plans, I would not be writing him off. He still connects with a huge section of the public. If both are locked in, those first primaries are going to be box office stuff. Biden and Trump, that is. One thing seems certain, Biden won't run again though. He says he'll make a call next year, but he's 80 this week, 82 at the next election. If he were to win the next election, that'd mean he'd be 86 by the end of his second term. It's not going to happen. Given what just happened to the Democrats, it will be hoping Trump runs again. It'll fancy its chances of beating him again. But what if it's not Biden? Who steps in? Democrats should look to the future. But they also face a similar problem about who to get behind. Kamala Harris no doubt thinks she should get a rails run, but she's tied to too many of Biden's failures, and the border crisis hasn't gone that well on her watch. Pete Buttigieg ticks the boxes as a Harvard graduate who served in Afghanistan and should get the clear air for a good run, but that question will no doubt return. Could America elect a gay president? First things first though, what's in store for the Republicans? Well, we'll find out soon. Thanks for watching folks. To support this channel, please like, share and subscribe below. See you soon.